You're wearing the green today on this special presentation of the NBA on St. Patrick's Day. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Coach Stan Van Gundy. And joining us from the sidelines is David Aldridge.
Timeout.
The Bulls are in the midst of a road trip going into this one.
First team foul.
Yeah, and they've just looked sort of lost out there lately. They're not playing with a whole lot of purpose or drive, and you just can't wait for good things to happen. You've got to make them happen.
So, Greg, with the season winding down, a lot of what-ifs for the teams. What about players? Do they experience that as well?
You can't help but wonder what could have been if your team struggled, Kevin. Players are just like fans in that regard.
Porzingis with the steal. Pass to White. Some nice ball movement here by the Celtics. Tatum's shot is off. And so it's Giddey with it. He brings it up for Chicago. Here's Ball. Good for the basket. Starting off 1-for-1 with that shot.
I'm a fan of how Ball uses that size inside. Excellent at getting his shot off close to the basket.
Now here's Tatum. His last outing with 20 points. Buzelis grabs the board. Now we'll go to David Aldridge, who had a chance to visit with head coach Joe Mazzulla.
Dealing with Lonzo Ball's playmaking was at the front of his mind. He told me Lonzo's a tremendous decision maker, so we've got to be quick to close off the passing lanes. We can't let him create easy baskets. The goal is to keep Ball's impact as a playmaker down to a minimum. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, David. Back to Vucevic. And the layup is good.
Two physical points from Vucevic. He enjoys bumping down low.
So, Stan, let me take you back to the 95-96 NBA season. It was your first year as an NBA assistant. And, of course, the Bulls winning 72 games in that season. Unbelievable.
They were incredible, but one of my great memories in that season, the day of the trade deadline, we sent out 5 guys, brought in 5 new guys. We had to play the Bulls that night. Only one of those players made it in. We had only 8 guys available, some guys who had hardly played for us. Rex Chapman had an unbelievable game, and we beat Michael Jordan's Bulls on that night.
Oh, what a great story. Austin with the ball. After the Bulls pick up 2. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
And if he sniffs the rim, he's attacking. Giddey not messing around when he gets in close like that.
And here is Brown. He points his last outing. And he banks in the layup.
And they've scored several times already here in the first quarter on the inside.
Inside. Here's Buzelis.
2 minutes.
And then Buzelis with the dunk.
And how about the patience from Buzelis and the body control? He doesn't rush through that play.
To the middle. Outside Holiday. Back to Porzingis. And the dunk by Porzingis.
Well, if Porzingis gets within arm's length of the hoop, he's not going to make many mistakes.
Here's Ball. Bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first. And guys, this is the first they're seeing of the Bulls this season.
And they rolled over this team last season, beating them every time they faced off.
Yeah, these teams were in 2 completely different categories last year, but hopefully the season series this year is much more competitive.
For Celtics.
Chicago making a switch here. 1:24 left in the first. Outside Holiday to the wing right side. There's the triple. Offensive rebound. Cornette lays it up off the glass.
Yeah, secures the ball off the glass. Does a nice job going right back up.
Knocked loose. Pass to Pritchard. Stolen by Ball. Here's Buzelis. And then Buzelis with the dunk.
It doesn't take much to get Buzelis up to the rim. He just pops off the floor and is right there.
Here's Pritchard. Here's Cornette. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Buzelis, no one around him. Misses that one. His first miss of the night. 2 for 3. Holiday. White with the defensive effort.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often. And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Here's Pritchard. Effort inside the line. It's been all about Lonzo Ball for Chicago.
The Celtics 10. The Bulls 18.
And it's good to have you back with us as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day with more NBA action on 2K Sports. And guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
Yeah, they gave the other team no time to breathe. Every time they got the ball, they were off to the races. And you see how effective this aggressive mindset can be.
Excellent job navigating the screen and roll there. Giddey showing his vision on that one.
Well, the defense can't lose track of him. He's just too talented offensively.
And Coach Derek White spent his first 4.5 seasons with the Spurs and Coach Greg Popovich, who did a lot to boost his confidence.
Yeah, Kevin, White was a late first-round pick. He's a humble guy, very hardworking. I don't even think he realized he could be this good.
And the latest now from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David, it's all yours. Take it away.
Kevin, thanks. Well, there's plenty of scorers on the Celtics, but Jason Tatum says, I'm going to get my shots. It's just about trusting the process. From experience, I understand that I'm good enough that I can relax and defer a little bit. Then in the fourth, I can score 20 in the quarter. Kevin, he sounds like he's figured it all out.
Thank you so much. You know, he can take over at any time, and it's fun to watch. DA, we thank you for that.
First personal foul.
You coach Stan at various levels for 30 years. How has the transition been to the broadcasting business?
Well, Kevin, it's been great because of people like you and because I'm undefeated.
Right. But you miss the aftermath when there's at least a score sheet. There's a scorecard that says win or loss.
I do miss that. There's no question. I miss the competition. I miss the camaraderie of building toward a result. But I've started to get some of that in broadcasting as I've gotten to know my partners better.
Well, it's great being your partner.
Likewise.
Now, here's Ball. He's got 9. Just 3 to shoot. And stolen by White. One-on-one fast break. Good, and it's Tatum picking up the assist. White's got 6 in the quarter. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Boston.
Well, so far they've done a great job of reading the offense and repeatedly putting themselves in the right place to interrupt the play and force turnovers.
And guys, they've also done a great job generating offense from their defense, forcing turnovers and making the defense pay for those mistakes. Nice little run here to shrink that deficit, but can they get over the hump?
Well, with all the momentum they've built up, I don't see this run stopping anytime soon.
Personal foul.
And it's the attention to detail that sets Tatum apart from most players in our league.
He misses the free throw.
the line.
And
for
Stan, as he
two
enters
shots.
his prime, Jason Tatum is shooting to become the face of the NBA.
Yeah, and Kevin, he knows winning is the key. For a star player on a great team, learning that balance, when to take over and when to set up your teammates is a big part of it.
Here's Boston now. They're on a 12-3 run. And the dunk by Porzingis.
The textbook positioning there for Porzingis. Once he's established it, he's going to have the advantage. Able to finish that above the rim.
And Vucevic throws it down.
Assist.
And he shows us all what the breakaway rim was invented for.
Can you believe he almost brought the whole thing down by hanging on that long? Now here's Brown. He's got 7. Off target from three-point range. Here's White. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Well, as a guard like White, you need to score inside. Force teams to respect you everywhere.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
Well, it's a players' league, but certainly coaching has its place.
And this is when a coach earns his paycheck. Analyze the situation and give your players the information they need to succeed.
Both teams changing it up here. 1:29 left to play in the first half. Out to the right wing. Back to White. Brown inside. Here's Cornette. Off target with his 3.
Well, that's a shot the defense felt like they could live with, and it worked out for them that time.
Brown outside. Back to White. Fires the 3. It's hauled in by the Bulls. They've led by as much as 10.
More good work on the glass there. When it's all said and done, I think rebounding might tell the story in this game.
First personal foul. Second team foul.
And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Brown.
Chicago ball.
And he jumped out to that ball immediately. Great reaction on that deflection.
Yeah, and you know they're tracking the tips and deflections because that tells you who's affecting the game.
Not the kind of aggressive defense they need to cut into the lead.
Yeah, you have to protect the rim, Greg, a little better.
Yeah, I'd consider calling timeout right away after that one. The defense has to be better there.
On the wing, Brown. Buries the long-range jumper. Brown's got 10.
And after not making any threes in the first half, he now has 2 here in the second half. Let's see if he continue to add to that.
Yeah, a bit surprising to see them leading at this point, given the number of turnovers they've already committed.
Pass to Hauser. Can't nail the jumper.
I'm sure he'd like to have that back. That's a missed opportunity.
So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Bulls out front. They're up by 2. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports. Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game it's been so far. And then Buzelis with the dunk.
Kobe.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. You know, Stan, it is great to see Kobe White put it all together.
It sure is, Kevin. This guy hung in there with a great attitude, even when he wasn't playing as much as he wanted to. He's still growing as a player, knocking down shots. His confidence is sky high. His approach will take him a long way.
I got to believe as a coach, that is incredibly satisfying to have that kind of play.
Yeah, it really is. When you have a guy like that, he just keeps getting better.
A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Hey, Kevin. Bulls coach Billy Donovan keeps perspective. He says, I used to come back from a tough road loss, go straight to the office and pull an all-nighter, trying to figure out what went wrong. My highs were too high and my lows were too low. You have to realize so much of it is just luck, the breaks of life. Kevin?
That's right, D.A. We respect Billy Donovan as much as any coach in the NBA. But a good outlook there, you're right. Hey, thank you. Back to White. Oh, good on the triple.
And they continue to control the glass.
And Derek White picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
Personal foul. First team foul.
Here's Giddey. And the layup's good off the glass.
Al Horford.
And now an 8-point Bulls lead.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Outside Tatum. Here's Porzingis. No good that time. Great D that time for Vucevic.
And with that miss, they're just 1 for 4 to start the third quarter.
As the lead continues to grow, this is just heady, sound basketball.
Well, that third quarter is when you want to increase your lead. Really building it up before that final quarter.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Shot clock at 6. It's stolen by Vucevic. Here's Giddey. And Tatum pulls it down. Celtics trail by 12. Right side, Porzingis. Pass to Tatum.
2 minutes remaining in the
Misses and the dry spell continues.
All the energy is on the other side right now, and every miss just makes it worse.
Their body language does not look good right now. They're deflated and unable to stop this run.
First personal foul.
You know, and a 7-footer that can play the entire court. Vucevic is a tough cover because of that versatility.
Taking 2 shots.
No good on that one. Stan, I could talk about coaching with you from morning till night, but what's the most difficult part of coaching that maybe the average fan doesn't know about?
Well, there's probably a lot of things like that, Kevin, so I'll just give you one. When you're coaching a star player who's on the decline a little bit, in his own mind, he's still that guy he was in his best years, but you have to limit his role, not get him as many shots, things like that. And there can be some tension, and it's with a guy that you have huge, huge respect for.
That's a great example. Coaching an aging star. Very different. Here's Hauser. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Holiday, left side. Here's Pritchard. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
The mid-range jumper is a high percentage shot for him, and when he's got that much room, forget about it.
Celtics trail by 8. Here's Holiday, and it's slammed in by Holiday.
And Holiday's vertical is still sneaky good. At 6'4", he's capable of hammering it down.
Buzelis. And he's good on the 3 ball. Buzelis has got 15.
Well, he has owned this quarter. A major reason they're up right now.
To the inside. And the basket by Horford.
Yeah, Horford has gotten more selective with his shooting, but he's still very efficient inside.
Chicago calls timeout.
And as fans and broadcasters, we're not permitted to hear the specifics in these huddles.
Well, as a coach, you want to cover just one or two major points. That way guys can absorb it and go out and execute.
Entertainment.
And it's Williams with the ball for Chicago. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. It's off to Utah after this game where they'll face the Jazz. Bulls moving the ball around. That's tipped. Now here's Craig. No scoring in this one. And the basket by Hauser.
And guys, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip.
It's deflected. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Bulls lead by 5.
The Celtics, 39. The Bulls, 44.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one.
Celtics Youth Dance Team.
Outside Tatum. Pass to Porzingis. Good, and it's Tatum picking up the assist.
From Jason
And it's 8
Tatum.
points for Porzingis.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Here's Ball. Here's Giddey. Some solid defense from Brown. Yes, and the foul. It's going to go on Buzelis.
Hey, Jaylen Brown is a strong dude. He takes the hit and completes the play.
That one drops. He ties it up. And Greg, we were talking Jaylen Brown making the 2023 All-NBA second team. That was big for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kevin, it made Jaylen eligible for the Supermax, signing for that 5-year extension in July of 23. At the time, the largest contract in NBA history.
And you can see the passing ability at his size. Buzelis is all for getting it to his open teammate. They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
The Celtics making a switch here. And that drops, so they now lead by 1. GA, these Boston Celtics are unquestionably a top-tier offensive unit.
Stupendous shooting, excellent instincts with the ball. Yeah, they are a model offense in many ways, making it tough for many teams to keep up with them.
So it's Boston now, following the three-point basket by Chicago. To the paint. Out to Porzingis. Pass to White. Just 5 to shoot. Brown wide open. He fires. And another miss by Boston. Now Buzelis out of bounds. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
Yeah, what a disconnect. Sloppy play like that is something they can expect to come up in the film session.
Brown right side. Down low. And Vucevic pulls it down.
And boy, have they been hitting the backboard in this game or what? Kind of surprising. It's such a tight game.
Poke loose. Pass to Buzelis. The shot's good on the assist by Vucevic.
Assist from...
Now it's a 4-point Bulls lead.
Can you even believe this is the same guy? What a difference here in the second half.
Fast break. Here comes Chicago. To the left side wing. Here's Buzelis. Back to ball. Clock at 6. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. The shot by Buzelis, no good.
Well, that miss was caused by the defense. They were all over him.
The shot by Holiday, no good. Over in the corner, White. Pass to Giddey. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
And not a guy who takes a ton of threes, but Giddey can knock them down if you let him.
Celtics.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
Yeah, just looking to tighten up their defense in the paint. They've got to be better.
Yeah, it's basically a layup line. You're not going to win many games if you can't offer more resistance than that.
Short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. Listened in on what Joe Mazzulla told his team. They said, let's lock in, keep our focus. We need everyone down the stretch. Now, his players looked engaged, so I think the message got across. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, David.
Hey, you need some points? Tatum is your guy.
Here's Buzelis. He makes his 9th shot of the game. He has only missed 4.
Well, this is what you're trying to do. Put the game away.
Yeah, but you can't let up now. You've seen too many wild comebacks in this league.
Now, here's Brown. Wants to get it to Tatum and does. The wide open look here for Porzingis. Good, and it's Tatum picking up the assist.
Well, you see the trust they have in Porzingis. Timely basket.
Giddey.
Giddey.
It's good, and it's his 6th make against 11 attempts.
And I love going to Giddey there at 6'8" with his skill. Josh can get that one off anytime he wants.
Now here's Brown. Back to Tatum. Holiday has it in the corner. Second shot opportunity. Tatum's shot is off. And Vucevic has got the ball here for the Bulls. It's White on the wing. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. They get it back. Watt is on the line here.
Crowd is so focused.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Outside Tatum. From deep 3-point territory. There's Porzingis. A second chance effort to the paint. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call.
Chicago ball. Now into the lineup for the Celtics. Peyton Pritchard.
Ball with it. So the Bulls win it. A narrow win under difficult circumstances, Greg, as the visiting team.
It really was, but that didn't seem to bother them. I mean, road team, home team, all I know is they were the better team.
Well said. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. With Stan Van Gundy, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, This is Kevin Harlan saying